What if I told you that the very culture promising to heal you is actually designed to weaken you? That the mantras we whisper, I'm enough, I deserve this, I owe no one anything, might not be medicine, but poison? That self-love, the modern gospel of self-worth, is often just narcissism in disguise. And that Niccolo Machiavelli, a man born 500 years ago, saw this coming before Instagram ever existed? Today we expose the dark reality of the self-care movement. This is not a takedown, it's a wake-up call. Because in the pursuit of healing, many are becoming something far more dangerous than broken. They're becoming tyrants of their own tiny kingdoms, and they don't even know it. We live in a culture obsessed with the self. Treat yourself. Cut out toxic people. You don't owe anyone your time. Protect your peace. These phrases echo across social media, marketed as empowerment. And to be fair, there is truth in them. Boundaries matter, healing matters, self-respect matters, but something's shifted. We've moved from healing the self to worshiping it. You don't need anyone but you. You are the prize. If they don't match your energy, cut them off. What happens when this becomes a doctrine? When self-love stops being a journey and becomes a throne? Here's what we see. Friendships replaced by transactional validation. Therapy language used to justify ghosting. Boundaries used as walls to avoid discomfort or accountability. Self-worth measured by likes, not depth. And suddenly the world is full of kings and queens, ruling over empires of isolation. Niccolo Machiavelli, often misunderstood as a cynic but really a realist. In The Prince, he describes power not as something noble or evil, but necessary, survival, influence, control. Machiavelli warned that humans left unchecked are not naturally virtuous. They are self-interested, opportunistic, and most importantly, they deceive themselves. Men are driven by two main impulses, love and fear. Now imagine this in the world of self-love culture. People are no longer fearing dictators. They're fearing being disliked, being unseen, being ordinary. So they crown themselves, curate their image, use therapy language as armor, use victimhood as leverage. In Machiavellian terms, they've learned to manipulate emotion to maintain personal power, not over nations, but over perception. Let's get clear. Narcissism isn't just arrogance. It's fragility masquerading as superiority. Dr. Craig Malkin, Harvard psychologist and author of Rethinking Narcissism, explains, narcissism exists on a spectrum. At its core is a drive to feel special, to avoid vulnerability. Now imagine a generation that's told, you are special simply because you exist. Any challenge to your comfort is toxic. The highest goal is to be seen, not understood. Result? We raise fragile egos with strong filters. They don't want love. They want admiration. They don't want intimacy. They want affirmation. They don't want growth. They want applause. And the twist? They call it healing. A woman leaves every friendship that doesn't serve her. A man ghosted by a date says, I'm protecting my energy. A TikTok coach teaches you to cut off your mom because she didn't validate your boundaries once. This isn't healing. It's self-deification. Machiavelli would call this a soft tyranny, not of a ruler over a state, but of a self over the soul. Here's the real tragedy. Machiavelli said, it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. And today we fear being ordinary more than being alone. We fear emotional discomfort more than dishonesty. We fear vulnerability more than vanity. But this self-crafted power is an illusion. You can't control your story through Instagram captions. You can't become whole by cutting away every shadow. You can't grow if you think healing means never feeling pain again. True healing isn't about feeling powerful. It's about becoming resilient. And that, ironically, requires something our current culture avoids at all costs: humility. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychoanalyst, who gave us the concept of individuation, spoke of the journey to integrate the self, not inflate it. Individuation isn't about becoming more important. It's about becoming more whole. It means facing your shadows, owning your contradictions, admitting when you're wrong, seeing others as mirrors, not threats. But inflation? That's what happens when ego pretends to be the soul. When a person believes, my boundaries matter more than connection. My emotions are truth. My journey excuses my cruelty. Machiavelli, Jung, and even modern therapists agree. The danger isn't in loving yourself. It's in worshiping yourself. So what is true power? It's not control. It's not followers. It's not main character energy, it's sovereignty. To be sovereign means you take responsibility for your wounds. You honor others without needing them to validate you. You set boundaries with compassion, not cruelty. You pursue truth even when it hurts your ego. Machiavelli said, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." So here's the challenge. 1. Can you love yourself without making yourself the center of the universe? 2. Can you assert your worth without cutting everyone out? 3. Can you embrace your power without becoming a tyrant? Because real healing isn't loud, it's quiet, lonely, honest. It means facing the parts of yourself that Instagram can't see, and forgiving others, not just for them, but because your freedom depends on it. So now we return to our question. Is self-love a lie? No, but the way we're selling it might be. Love, true love, is sacrificial. It's accountable. It grows not from self-worship, but self-awareness. The self-care industry wants you to stay addicted to validation. But the deeper journey? It's not glamorous. It's not viral. It's not filtered. It's Machiavellian in its own way, strategic, painful, and real. Because the greatest power you'll ever wield is over yourself. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. Confucius. Or perhaps the wisest prince. So tonight ask yourself, 1. Where am I hiding behind self-love? 2. Who have I cut off because they challenged me to grow? 3. What part of my healing is just my ego in disguise? And most importantly, who am I becoming while no one's watching? Because your kingdom isn't Instagram, it's your soul. And only you can rule it wisely. If this spoke to you, really spoke to you, share it with someone who's chasing healing, but might be drifting toward self-worship. And if you're ready for more conversations like this, real ones, subscribe. This isn't self-help. It's soul work, and we're just getting started. Remember, the throne of the self is heavy. Don't wear the crown until you've earned the weight.